And hello, everyone. How do you do? I should be live. I hope I am anyway. We'll soon find out. Hey, I've done all the sharing, so I've got that out of the way early, which is just as well. Yes, great. So, how is everyone? I hope you're all doing well. I want to say a good evening to Popcorn Boxing. Good evening. And Wobbly Willy Willikers is here. Ben World, may I offer you my very sincere contravibularities and pericobobulations. 'Tis the common word down our way, Dr. Johnson. You can never miss a Blackadder fan, can you? Yeah, they always come out. Hello, David. How are you? Dave Splendid Isolation is here. I'm waiting for Stephen Trueseeker because I know he's been looking forward to this for ages. Hello, Diego Rivera. That's it. 'Tis the common word. Yeah, this is it. Contrafibularities and pericobobulations. Dr. Samuel Johnson left them out of his first. Damn your eyes, yeah. How you doing, Diego Rivera? Hello. Hello, Ian. Ian 108, how are you, sir? Are you well? Hi, Popcorn Boxing. Nice to see you guys. Have you got the popcorn in? We're talking movies tonight. Yes, we are. Let's let the numbers build. I don't just Stephen Trueseeker must know I'm on the air because he's been looking forward to this for ages. I'll just let's have a look. I will just share it. I'll just inbox him it actually because he was so keen to be involved in this. I just want to make sure he hasn't fallen asleep or something. Well, if he has, I can't help that. But I think I could just. Right, Stephen. Oh, is he there? There you go. Right. Come and join us, Stephen. He's been going on me for ages. Get this. He's been saying, "Where are you? When are you going to do it, Ben? When are you going to do it?" Hello, Stuart Morris. How do you do? Welcome. Nice to see you. Yes, we're talking movies tonight, and this is the watch party. This is my What Dreams May Come watch and read party. This is the third and final part of that. Oh, I've just remembered something. I've got to do something. I know I forgot something. Here we go. I've got to add it to the review, haven't I? I'll do that while I'm waiting for people to turn up. That's on the notice. I'm a stickler for this sort of thing. That's a notice on Herpanwo, on the Herpanwo TV blog. Do that while I'm waiting, actually. There we go. And update. There we go. And it should appear. Yes, it does. Good. All right, guys. So I'm just going to. I'll do the. I'm now just going to do the notices in the video description boxes on all the platforms because, of course, it's not just YouTube I use now, is it? Oh, I've got some good news for you, by the way. My UFO Disclosure 2023, the big interview, it's been restored. It took a lot less time than I thought. It basically went the same way as Silent Night. If you remember with Silent Night, that another case, obvious fair use. What do? They went and they bloody it's autoplay. They went and gave me a copyright strike on it and blocked the. They didn't delete it, but they blocked it in all territories. Okay, so Odyssey. They blocked the whole thing on all territories, and therefore, how come I've got StreamYard on two StreamYards open? This is one StreamYard. Oh no, that's all right. That's okay. So edit. So yeah, they blocked it in all territories. Of course, I had to appeal and explain. Go through this very tedious rigmarole. The same thing I went through with Silent Night, which was, look, this is a very obvious case of fair use. Could you please restore the video? And I thought they'd get back to me within 30 days. Well, it took 3. So I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that from bloody YouTube. I just didn't expect that from them because they're not normally that user friendly. But anyway, I got an email. Well, first I knew beforehand anyway because I checked it on my phone, which I'm logged out on. And amazingly, all right, edit. And amazingly, when I checked it, I couldn't believe it. It was like, okay. couldn't believe it when I want to check my channel. You bugger. Channel check. There we go. And when I checked it, I found it was back, and I was like, "What? Blimey!" I thought sounds too good to be true. But then it was actually later in the day, I got an email from YouTube and just saying, well, "Good news, we've decided, the copyright owners will relinquish all claims on your video." Now, they're still going. I'm still going to get. It's still been sort of like monetized for them, so I've got like a third-party monetization, but they have released it from it's being blocked. Now, I actually think that the problem is that the actual YouTube are far more. It's YouTube that are zealous about this, not the actual copyright owners. Ah, Stephen, I knew you'd be here. Hello, how are you doing? Phuket, how do you do? Is it movie night? I don't watch them. Well, that's a shame because we are. Vincent Ward. He's not the same person. Vincent White. Oh, we just opened a lab. Good for you, Willie. That sounds painful. There we go. No, it isn't. I can see it now. Okay. Copyright strikes usually treat when people try to find out your personal details. Well, I didn't have to do it. It's changed a bit now, Willie. I didn't have to do all that. Hello, Watkins. How are you? How's the bookshop going? Yeah, I didn't have to do all that. All I had to do, because in the old days, you had to put in a whole, you had to basically give them the opportunity to sue you. So yeah, I know it was used for doxing. I know, but and I did have to do that once with the whole Colonel Holt thing, if you remember. But YouTube have changed its policies now when it comes to this sort of thing. So I basically, the video's been completely restored with that. It's got ads on, but the video's been completely restored. So that was good. All's well, ends well. I hope you guys are all doing all right. Now, this is the live stream part of the watch read party for What Dreams May Come. Now, just to get a little bit of I just want to get a bit of sense of where we are here for this before we start. Now, put a 1 in chat if you've watched the film. Okay, put a 1 and put a 1 in chat if you've watched the film. Put a 2 in chat if you've read the book and watched the film, and put a 3 in chat if you've just read the book. I know I'm going to do this too because mine obviously is a 2. There we go. Because I've done both. I actually I watched the film many times before I ended up 1. Oh, so you've seen the film. Hello, Azirfail. How are you? How's Crowley? 4. Nothing seems to 4. What's 4? That's not an option. So we've got lots of 1s here. David, 1 seen the film. Lots of people seen the film. Seth, Aaron Fletcher. Hello, how do you do? David. Oh, David says, long time no see. Hope you're doing all right. Are there any more UFO paranormal conferences coming up in the next few months? Yes. Loads. Oh, I don't know where to start. Loads. Some of them I'm speaking at. I'm speaking at least 2. But so it's lots of 1s. Oh, so no one's read the book? Nothing that seems says 4. I don't know what you mean by that, nothing. Maybe you're living up to your name. So no one's read the book. Okay, all right. Steve, what about you, Stephen? Stephen hasn't voted yet. Stephen Truthseeker. Put a 0 if you just read what you've watched or read neither. I know nothing will because he doesn't. No, Phuket will because he doesn't watch movies. Put a 0 if you've read neither. Oh yeah, 4 says none of the above. Okay, so you've not. Basically nothing is saying the same thing as 0. So put a 4 or a 0 depending on whether you want to go along with me or nothing as it seems. Willie, yes, you would like the 5 people you met in heaven. Yes, I've read the book and watched the film. Yeah. David, you've only ever read 1 book, and it's I Am Legend. But that, Willie, is very good. That is very good. I got given that book when I was at the Findhorn community in 2005. And Martin Taylor, hello, Martin, how are you? Okay. Not to worry. So what it's about? It's about death, and it's a depiction of the afterlife. Now, the actual plot varies considerably from the two. The film, as I say, it's a fantasy drama. Vincent Ward, who's a New Zealander. I've got to put the fan on. Sorry, guys. But it was written by a novel. It's from a novel by Richard Matheson. He also helped adapt it for the film. Although there's a lot of differences between the plot of the film and there's a lot of difference between the plot of the film and the book. And the title comes from. It is. Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. That's actually one of Shakespeare's most famous catchphrases. And it's in the scene where Hamlet, who's a kind of one of these characters, is always wondering about things like that. He always says that. He makes several. He also calls death the undiscovered country. From I'm glad you can't hear the fan, David. That's it. He calls it the undiscovered country from which no travel ever returns. 69 Phuket. The last thing I want in the afterlife is a solid plot. You never. I mean, this is. I suppose it's the journey we all have to make at some point. I mean, this is why people have always been fascinated by death. It's possible. I mean, I don't know if we're the only species with death awareness. Elephants seem to have death awareness. Several other species do. But because it's this, it's the one certainty in life is it's going to come to an end. That fills us with fear and with wonder. Fear and wonder. Fear that it would happen. Secondly, and what's going to happen, and what will happen to us, if anything, when that time occurs. Which is why there's many stories like this. I'm glad you can't hear the fan, David. I'm glad you can't hear the fan. I'm just trying to keep cool here. Trying to keep cool. Now, in the beginning of the film begins where he meets his wife. It actually is the romance is done very well actually between the two, in both the book and the film. There's some very, very good chemistry between them. A lot of good romance. You can see they're very much in very much in love. They fall in love instantly when they meet, and Robin Williams is made up to look, because this was filmed in 1988, but Robin Williams looks a lot younger in the first scene because he's got hair like he did in Mork and Mindy. Because Chris Nielsen, his character, has to be portrayed as so much younger at the time. Hello, what we got now? You get 6 months in the Bardo, then you're kicked out to your fate. The Bardo's interesting. The Bardo's a bit like purgatory. Willie says, that's a conspiracy video for you, Ben. Did Shakespeare exist? A former blacksmith who could read and write? Very doubtful. Well, I don't know if you listen to Panro Radio, Willie, but I did actually an interview with Nick Colostrum about that very subject. He's been looking into this. And yes, David, there's a whole group. He believes that the Shakespeare plays were concocted by a group of about 5 people. William Shakespeare himself was actually the manager. He was a manager of the troupe that went around performing this across the country. But he himself didn't write the plays. I mean, the guy could. There's a few samples of his handwriting, and you can clearly see he's barely literate. I mean, what you'd expect from his background. He lived in a peasant family in 16th century Warwickshire. He went to a church school, had a basic education. He's got the reading age of a 7-year-old by modern standards. Yeah, but then that's an aside. And then it flash forward to them when they were middle-aged. Their kids are teenagers, and then, of course, this is the book and the film are totally different, because in the book it's only Chris and Anne, as she's called, Annie in the film, who die. The kids don't die. They got 4 kids in the book. They got 4 kids. What's interesting is that there's always this sense that it could be real in the book, because the book is it's a bit dubious about whether it's fiction or not. It has that kind of like docudrama or mockumentary feel to it. And so after the death of the children, of course, then they have terrible depression, Annie and Chris, and then Chris dies in a car crash. That does happen in the book, and he ends up in Summerland, which is it's not called that in the film; it's called that in the book. And then the rest of the then it gets quite similar because Chris has to go to hell to rescue his wife because his wife commits suicide, and they end up by proposing reincarnation. That's right. Now, it's what's interesting is what I found most interesting is that in the book, like I said, there's this sense that it might be real. In fact, he actually says here, this is to the reader. So I have to I'm better off without my glasses when I'm reading a book. Actually, when I'm reading text on papers, I need the glasses for the screen, for the monitors and things. To the reader, an introduction to a novel. Here it is. You can see that there. To the reader. An introduction to a novel is almost without exception unnecessary. This is my 10th published novel, and the thought of writing introductions to any of the preceding 9 never occurred to me. For this novel, however, I feel that a brief prologue is called for because it's subject to survival after death. It is essential that you realize before reading the story that only one aspect of it is fictional, the characters and their relationship. With few exceptions, every other detail is derived exclusively from research. For this reason, I've added at the conclusion of the novel a list of books used for this research. As you will see, they are many and diverse, yet despite the wide variation with regard to authors, times and places of publication, there was a persistent, unavoidable uniformity to their content. You would, of course, have to read them all to prove this to yourself, and I urge you to do so. You'll find it an enlightening and extraordinary experience. Richard Matheson, Calabasas, California, August 1977. And yeah, it does have, believe it or not, a bibliography. This is very rare in a novel. I mean, I suppose I did that with Roswell Rising. I put a list of websites with Roswell Rising. It's got books by some I recognise by Arthur Conan Doyle, Martin Eden, Arthur Finley. Others I don't. And of course, since this book was published in 78, there's been many, many more. There's Raymond Moody, Life After Life. That's a classic, that is. That really popularised the idea of near-death experiences. Lyle Watson, The Romeo Era, which I've got a copy of, actually. It's a very rare book, actually. It's a rare book. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting stuff. Let's see if you've left me any comments. Oh, has anyone else turned up? Let's have a look. Is Summerland twinned with Pepperland? Yeah, 69 Forget. Bardo is a replay of your wrongdoings and right doings. It eases the transition. Yeah, this is interesting because yeah, this idea goes back to, of course, Dante's Divine Comedy, and that's what the two read parties I've got going at the moment. That is What Dreams May Come, and of course the Inferno by Dan Brown. Both have that as their theme. I mean, it's not actually stated in either, but it's pretty clear that a lot of the imagery within both the book and the film is based on the Divine Comedy. Definitely. Watkins says, if Ardy Hall ends up in jail, I'll fart at the moon. Well, he won't go to jail, but he might end up, if he loses the case, he'll be ordered to pay damages to these people. I hope that doesn't happen. I'll be coming back to that. And David's right. He won't go to jail for this. He won't go to jail, but goodness knows, you can bet some people are changing the damn law to try and put people like him and us in jail. So yeah, I will. Obviously that's a disgrace. I'll come back to that another time, but I really hope that doesn't happen. I suppose, but Matheson wasn't a Bible-believing Christian then. I don't think he was. No, I mean he's. Let's have a look at his bio because he's an interesting chap. He wrote that button story. Remember I was talking about the button. About the couple who have to press the button. It was made into a Twilight Zone. In fact, there's been another adaptation of it which I haven't seen yet, but it was made in the 80s, I think, into in the 80s, it was made into a Twilight Zone episode. Funny enough, David says who was it who said they've read I Am Legend, the zombie movie? Only 8. 24 watching and only 8 likes. You'll have to strip Ben. No, don't worry. Don't worry. That's probably, those figures probably aren't correct. Hello, body technician. How do you do? But no, Matheson was he wrote I Am Legend. You see, that's why I'm asking. Someone said, oh, they only ever read one book. It was I Am Legend. That's another one by Richard Matheson. So he's actually created a lot of really interesting stories. Some people know a lot of these stories, and they don't actually know it's by him. Button, which is it was actually published in Playboy of all places, and it was turned into a film called The Box. Yeah, I've not seen this. That sounds good. The Box, a psychological thriller film. Yeah, where they have to press this button inside a box. Yeah, and they get £1 million or something. It says he was born in. He comes from his family in Norwegian. Born 1926, February 20th, 1926. He published his first short story at the age of 8. Goodness me. Yeah. Let's have a look when it comes to inspiration. Also, personal life and death. Inspiration. It doesn't actually mention. It appears it doesn't actually mention anything about his personal life. Just mentions his wife, and that's it. Mentions his wife, and he's got 4 children. That's all. Yeah. Died 2013. Works, novel, short stories, television. Right, so it doesn't actually say anything about what his beliefs were. I don't think he was David, I don't think he was a Christian. He doesn't come across as a Bible-believing Christian. No, he doesn't. Hello, less than average. I'm here, big boy. I'm glad to hear it, mate. I'm glad to hear it. Watkins, been rewatching old movies, can't stand wokeism. Me neither, mate. I can see by your avatar you're a fan of Zulu. Someone tried to ban Zulu. Can you believe it? This is interesting. Died the same year as Colin Wilson, who also wrote much on the topic. They're quite similar, from what I gather, because Colin Wilson, of course, was a hospital porter. So he's got a special place in my heart. I bought a book by him, didn't I? It's Weird Weekend North. And at 69 Phukets, those long, dark days in Scandinavian countries led to wild imaginings. Maybe that's where it comes from anyway. Maybe that's where he got that inspiration. Maybe it's his Norwegian roots. Yeah. 69 Phuket. Yeah, Zulu is an incredible film. It's incredible. And they want to ban it. Goodness me. I actually wrote an article on Panwo Voice about that because I was so annoyed. Because I think it's such a great film. Now, I'm just going to go for your notice comments because I want to go through those.
Conspiracies, government.
Actually, Rihanna's written some music which I can put where I normally have silence on my videos, which is great. So we have Jeff Sperry, who says, "Can we stay on planet Earth, Ben? There certainly is enough to discuss for sure without worrying about outer earthly stories." Well, we're not going to go up onto aliens tonight. I think we've covered the aliens for now. I don't think I can add anything more to the aliens for the time being. Balloons, hello balloons, how are you? Ben, have you in the past been abducted by aliens? If so, oh dear, balloons didn't get the message, Jeff. If so, please describe what happened. Balloons, not tonight. Sorry, this is not about aliens tonight. But I have not been abducted by aliens as far as I know. But there's a couple of things that have happened to me twice. And there's two things really: my implant and my missing time that makes me wonder. Stephen Trusig has a nice one, Ben. Thanks, you're welcome. And we have Wobbly Willy Willikers, who says, "Are you interviewing that woman I'm in? Oh, you mean Rosalind Chow, the actress?" Yeah, she was. She plays Leona, who of course is Marie in disguise. That's another thing you get more in. You get that in the. You get that in. You get that in the film more than the book, where people are not who they appear to be. Yeah, that's good. That. We never had more than 75,000 people abroad at the height of Empire. We get that coming in every week. Zulu is a film. I mean, the Zulus are all portrayed. I mean, the wokies, of course, call it racist. Oh, it's racist. It's racist. I mean, it's extraordinarily well filmed. You know, it's extraordinary camera work. You know, the shots and the angles and the costumes and the choreography is amazing. But it's the Zulus are portrayed very respectfully. They're portrayed as they're portrayed as very brave, very cunning and clever in terms of strategy, and chivalrous as well. Like at that scene where at the end where they salute their enemy when they finally give up at the end, that dramatic scene when they finally give up and they do that dance to salute their enemy. Zulu is a film about how you can get into conflict with other people, even very violent conflict, and yet not lose your humanity. And it's disgusting that anyone thought that they could ban that. They haven't even tried to ban that. Wobbly, what's this? It's an ODO ban. How do you know about that? Hang on a minute. Wobbly Willy Williker says here. Hang on. Rosalind Chow. I was going to say this. She plays Leona, who is Marie in disguise, and you find there's that amazing scene where I got that screenshot from, and that's I think is my favourite scene in the film. And that's 69 Fuga's talking about tearjerkers. That is like the biggest tearjerker in the film, because it's so well done. The acting is so good. It's so good. It's so well done. They're very, the facial expressions, the very facial expressions that Williams and Chow have in that scene, the way they look at each other. You can see that, Chris is actually suspecting that is Marie. He suspects it's Marie. And you can see it, and she's sort of like giving it away. It's an incredible scene. But anyway, Willie, I'm just going to have Willie. I'm wondering about you, Willie, actually, because, I'm just going to take a look at your channel page. Let's have a Willie. Who are you exactly? Because I'm sure people won't mind me showing your channel page. It's not a secret. That there is that Bill Murray? I think I don't know what that film that's supposed to be. Is that from Galaxy Quest or something like that? Avatar. But you've got no playlist. You've got no uploads. It says you're from the United States. And you joined on the 11th of June. That's only just over a week ago. So I mean no disrespect, Willie. But have you? It feels like you've joined YouTube specifically to comment on my videos. Is that right? Balloons, hello, how are you? Welcome. You're welcome. How are you, Balloons? David says, Ben, I really enjoyed your Roswell conference a few years back in Oxford. Have you any plans to do another conference at some point in the future? No, did you go to that? Oh, were you there? Oh. All right, it's an 80s TV series. Right you are, Willie. But did you join YouTube just to talk to me? Because you've only just set up your YouTube channel. And that's what's this? No, I'm from Ulrich Firelord Livestreams. Oh, right. Okay. Cool. I'm not prying or anything. It's just we've had, I've had trolls, and as soon as I find out who they are, I just ban them. But then when they sometimes try to come back under fake identities, so just checking, mate. No offense. Watkins says, "All right, your old channel got malware." I'm sorry to hear that, mate. Sorry to hear that, Watkins. So that was an amazing scene. That scene with Leona. She's dressed as an air stewardess, and then she says, "I didn't look like this, but my dad said, my dad said to me once that he thought that was he really liked this woman. He said she's a really elegant woman, and I thought I want to be that when I grow up." Oh no, Hugo. Damn, I missed the beginning. A noise. I was expecting you, but forgot. Still, I will enjoy the show. Sorry for being late. That's all right, mate. You're only like about half an hour late. Don't worry about it. I'm sure you'll pick it up as you go along. And I know you've got opinions on this, so I'm quite glad you're here, actually. I'm quite glad you're here. Because I'd be interested to hear what your opinions are about this. And then, of course, there's this issue with Annie's suicide, which, of course, does happen in both the book and the film. Now, it seems I'm the only one who's read the book, which is a shame. Has anyone read the book? No, just to clarify, some of you joined since then? Have any of you read the book as well? That's in the film. Has any of you? Because that'd be really, really. Right. So, is that right? Anyone read the book? Say who read the book. It seems not. All right. Well, it is a watch and read party, but you're not obliged to. No one's obliged to read the book as well. Oh yes, Hugo. You got the comments reply videos as well. No, if you've not read the book, Balloons. All right, no problem. But now the journey into hell. It's really well done because again, the production design on the film is fantastic. Let me just find this. Right. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show any bloody videos, so I'll end up getting what? They come. Hell scene. They end up like in a kind of it's where they end up. I mean, it starts off with this. Do you remember the bit where it's really scary because he's walking along and there's those faces. There's those like faces sticking out of the mud. Oh, can't find it now. Sorry. But it's really good because there's like the house is. All right, Diego Rivera. You've never read the book or seen the film? Okay, no worries. Okay, so the thing about suicide is it's self-murder. That she went to hell might have had this resonating in the author's mind. Well, according to what happens is it's not punishment. I mean, Chris was saying to Ian when he thought he was Albert, there's judgment and punishment in that. And he says, no, this is something you do to yourself. It's your own self-destruction that brings you there. This is how she can escape. He has to change her mind for her to escape hell. But Balloons, yeah, it's a very good book, Balloons. It's very good indeed. And even if you've watched the film, it's worth reading the book. I read the book long after I'd seen the film. And of course, Chris has to, when you're in hell, you see, Chris is running the risk of being stuck there himself, you see. He's running the risk of being stuck there himself. All right, Stephen, I'm sorry that's happening. I hope that's not too bad. All right. Matheson got his ideas from Emanuel Swedenborg, says Willie. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because is there Swedenborg in the? Let's have a look. No, there's nothing in the bibliography about Swedenborg, but it's the kind of thing he would read about. He was very into theosophy and things like that. The term Summerland actually comes from theosophy. Oh, hello, Orbit 80. Hello, Orbit 80. There's a Brazilian film called Nosso Lar with subtitles I recommend. Right, you are Nosso Lar. Thanks. Nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with Virginia, has it? I'm trying not to go to hell, says Balloons. I think we all are, yeah. No, I don't. The idea of limbo is pretty horrible, actually. I don't like the idea of limbo. Yeah. But not many people believe that. It's a stupid thing invented by medieval priests. It's a stupid thing. But in the hell scene in the book, in the film, there's a kind of inverted cathedral with a roof at the bottom, and Annie is living in a facsimile of their old home, but it's all broken and dirty, like everything in hell, and it's resting in like the upside down roof of this cathedral. It's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. But in the hell scene's different in the book. He walks with Albert, who's actually his cousin who died when he was young. He walks with Albert. They walk slow, and as they're walking along, things slowly change. They go through this weird town where everyone's fighting, and then they eventually come to this like crater. They have to crawl down to this crater, and his body gets heavier, and he finds it harder to think. And at one point, he's captured by these demon-like creatures, and he's tortured, and these insects get crawling into his mouth and stuff like that. It's really scary. But when big differences with the book is that all right, he wasn't. Swedenborg was not a theosophist. He was a scientist and inventor. Yeah, I know that Matheson was interested in theosophy, I think. Hello, Rod. How do you do? Long time no hear. Nice to see you, Rod. Thanks for joining us. Balloons, I agree. The visuals of heaven in the film were very creative. They were brilliant with the paint and everything. Yeah, the paint. Yeah. In the book, it's like it's described as being like a beautiful countryside scene. Oh. The house he stayed in, he actually stays in Albert's house, and it's got no windows because there's no cold outside or anything to keep out and things like that. 69 Phuket says Lobsang Rampa will be in my bibliography. Mum was mad at the books. Interesting read. Right. Was he like a taxi driver or something? He was a London taxi driver. No, I think it was the guy who invented the Aetherius Society. T. Lobsang. He was some kind of. I think he was British or something. But let me just go in and talk about limbo, because it was a horrible idea when I first heard about it. My mum thought this too when she was a little girl. She was brought theological concept limbo. Yeah, it does appear actually in the Divine Comedy. In Catholic theology, limbo, meaning the boundary of hell, is an afterlife condition of those who die without grace, but without sin, but without grace. So, in other words, you die with original sin. You've not been baptized, and yet you've died without. So it's a place, for example, that a stillborn baby will go to, or a baby that dies before they are baptized. Limbo of the infants. This is it. This is bloody awful. It's a hypothetical permanent status of the unbaptized who die in infancy, too young to have committed actual sins, but not having been freed from original sin. Isn't that horrible? I mean, Who came up with that idea? That a baby could actually be condemned in that way. Recent Catholic theological speculation tends to stress the hope, although not the certainty, that these infants may attain heaven instead of the state of limbo. That's like it's nothing. It's not a laughing matter, but it's a joke that Bill Hicks said. I think what God meant to say was this, because Bill Hicks loved taking the mickey out of religion. He himself was not an atheist. I mean, he was a spiritual man, but yeah. While the Catholic Church has defined doctrine on original sin, it has none of the eternal fate of unbaptized infants. Oh God! This is why for centuries people believed this. They used to bury their stillbirths and miscarriages. They used to bury them at crossroads and things, and just forget about them. It's horrible to think. I expect my grandparents actually went to they actually died. They see when my first daughter was stillborn, they never really mentioned her again. My grandparents, who were very devout Roman Catholic, and I think they thought that that's what happened to her. The only way they could cope with it is just trying to forget about her. How horrible to believe that. I mean, it can't possibly be true. But they believed it, and so as a result, all they could do was the only way to cope psychologically was to forget about them. Them. And when my Louisa, my daughter, was born, my second daughter, who's now 28, they sent me a card saying, "Congratulations on this is our first grandchild." They'd forgotten about Alice completely. But I mean, I never believed that. I actually was. My mum arranged for me when after Alice died. My mum arranged for me to see this monk, and he was a Dominican friar, and he told me that there's no such place as limbo. It's rubbish, and I shouldn't take any notice of that. It says here, nonetheless, according to the Catholic dogma, baptism, or at least a desire for it, along with supernatural faith, or at least a habit of faith, are necessary for salvation. Hence, it's not immediately clear how to reconcile the mercy of God for unbaptized infants with the necessity of baptism and Catholic faith for salvation. Oh, God must be... If God exists, he must be just double face palming at these people. I'm not a religious man, but there's one prayer I always say to myself: Lord Jesus Christ, deliver me from your followers. But it's a horrible thing. It was believed it for so long. Who invented this shit? Honestly. I'm looking at the popular references now. It's in the Divine Comedy. Dante depicts limbo as the first circle of hell. The virtuous pagans inhabit a brightly lit, beautiful but somber castle. But there is something called there is something called Bardo. I think that's from Hinduism. Let me just check your comments. Yeah. You've got a lot of people have a lot to say here. He was a plumber from Wales, was he? Oh, good old. That's it, right. David, it was a thought-provoking film, What Dreams May Come. Personally thought Robin Williams was the top draw in this movie. He was, wasn't he? He was brilliant. I think people are talking a lot about Limbo here now, honestly. Hugo, suicide? Honestly, the nurses are driving me in that direction. Oh, Hugo, man. You need get. Don't let them get you down, mate. Just ask to see like a counsellor. That's Roman Catholic doctrine for you, Ben, says David. Nowhere in the Bible does it say children are condemned. It's completely and utterly nonsense. And Willie says it's ironic because Catholic means universal. It does, yeah. Willie says some Catholics don't follow Vatican II, so they hold on to these ideas. Yeah, Nick Colostrum knows one of them. It's a very famous one, actually. Richard Williamson is a friend of Nick Colostrum's. Thanks, balloons. He was actually excommunicated after Vatican II. He was originally a Catholic bishop and was excommunicated. And but he won't do this thing, like he won't hold mass facing the congregation, for example, because previously, and this surprised me when I found out about it, but my grandparents said it's true. The priest used to conduct mass with his back to the congregation. Oh, right. The reason we cross our fingers for luck comes from the skeletons whose fingers were crossed, indicating they were justified in. All right, in Roman Church dogma. All right, I see. The nurses consider me and my cannabis to be a dangerous threat to their lives. Oh, what? They're talking nonsense, mate. They're talking nonsense. You've been on TV over this. Oh. Jesus said, "Come to me as little children, because they are the kingdom of heaven." That's right, yeah. Diego, what about limbo dancing? No, you go underneath a low pole. No, Diego, I'm sure there's no connection. It means the border. Limbo, it comes from, it's a Latin term. But there are immediate states, for example, where you're supposed to go when you die, and it's like there's purgatory and bardo. And indeed, this comes up in Philip Pullman, actually, and the Dark Materials. I mean, Philip Pullman's is a complete and total cunt, but he is a good writer, I must admit. Purgatory, here we go, is, according to belief in some Christian denominations, an intermediate state after physical death and expiatory purification. It's a way of explaining how I think that, because you have to be pure to enter heaven, but then, of course, nobody's pure, no one can go to heaven. So they say, well, you've got to have a second chance, mate. You've got to have a second chance. It's like Gehenna in Judaism. I've actually just written an article about Judaism and the afterlife. It's very interesting. Their beliefs are very interesting, quite varied, as their beliefs in it are about everything. What is bardo? Let's have a look at bardo. The Buddhist concept. Here we go. Bardo. In schools of Buddhism, bardo is an intermediate transitional or liminal state between death and rebirth. The concept arose soon after Gautama Buddha's death. That would be around the 5th century BC. The state between death and rebirth. That's interesting. That's, yeah. Ken Wilber always said about his wife that he would go and find her in the bardo. He always said to, because she got cancer and she was going to, and she died. There's a book he wrote about it, which is like really good. Yeah. There are 6 bardos in Tibetan Buddhism: the Kyanai bardo, the first bardo of birth and life; the Milam bardo, the second bardo from the dream state. Dream yoga develops practices to integrate the dream state into Buddhist sadhana. I had an interesting dream last night. Yeah. Samtin bardo, the third bardo of meditation. The Shikai bardo, the fourth bardo, is from the moment of death. The Choli bardo, the 5th bardo of the luminosity and true nature. And the Sitya bardo, the 6th bardo of becoming or transmigration. There's a lot of bardos there to find someone, I'll tell you. But I'll do the same for Ian R. Crane, and Gareth and everyone. Yeah. Where are we now? Rod says, I don't remember anything before my birth. I'm pretty sure I won't remember anything until after I die. This isn't a dress rehearsal. That's it, I say. That is it. I say this on the very tail end of my life. Live as each day as. Oh, right. You're not very well, Rod. Oh, well, I wish you all the best, mate. I wish you all the best. TV me, I invite you to come chat. On TV me. You were on TV. You were on the news. Rod, the last day. That's a good episode of Red Dwarf. That is. I think it's quite funny. Oh, Stephen's back. That's good. Wooly on the left eye chat. Off the left eye channel is interesting. All right. Bridget Bardot. That's got a T on the end. It's a French name. People don't know what God is. What do you think it is, Stephen? Transmigration. You know, you get reborn as I think, someone on a rubber dinghy. Now, Hugo Rune. I was happy to go on TV, but I need help. Ben, are you really going to the Bardo to get someone? What if you get lost? It's too dangerous. It'll be like a real What Dreams May Come, wouldn't it? No, I'd just say I'd find when my time comes, I'll find Ian R. Crane. I said I'd find him when my time comes. I said that to Thomas Sheridan, and I will, because I've got all my friends who've just disappeared. They just died, and it's like really upsetting. It's upsetting for me to lose so many people. What about angels? I mean, what role do angels play, you think? Because I've actually did any of you see my videos, Angel of the Outer Limits? Did any of you see that? Oh, what Willie says, what's this? Yep, I'm from there too. Sorry, Ben, but I have other interests, wonderful and pleasing to the eyes as you are. Well, thank you very much, Willie. But you have other interests, that's cool. I mean, if you like that, if you like that sort of thing, that's cool. Right. Thanks for the annoying and ignoring the rest of my statement. I'll shut up now. Sorry, what? Hugo, what was this? Hang on. All right, hang on. What did you say here? Okay. I'd happily go on TV, but I need help. I wish to challenge the system. And as I said, the nurses consider me to be a threat to them. Why is that? Oh. So I wasn't deliberately ignoring you, Hugo. Balloon. Angels are supposed to transport and deliver messengers. Angels' appearances to the mind, says Phuket. Yeah, the word angel, angelos, is Greek, is messenger. David said, right, it's time to break this topic and put our big boy trousers on. And so, Ben, the Watchers, the Nicola Bully case, what's your opinion of what's going on? Well, that was that lady who supposedly drowned in a river, didn't she? Aziraphale, Watchers, Guides, and Messengers. Yeah, Aziraphale. I assume you've watched Good Omens, because that's excellent. That's brilliant. Threat to nurses in the Benny Hill sense. Yes. He's there rushing around on his wheelchair. It's Hugo. Zooming along like a racing car, and the nurses are going, and they're running. No, you see, I just had this weird depiction of an angel. Oh, you haven't seen that, Azir? Oh, right, okay. It's worth watching. It's very good, because Aziraphale is the name of an angel in that series. It's very good. Based on a Terry Pratchett book. No, I was just, when I was at OLM, I did talk about this in my live stream, and I've made an entire video on it. I had a strange visitation at that point, which it could have been. I can't prove it's not my imagination, but it was a very vivid vision I had of a young blonde woman with a white dress who just came up and just touched me on the arm and then disappeared. Very strange. And I made the video calling it the Angel of the Outer Limits, but I can't prove it's an angel. But here we go. It's worth. I'd say if you're interested in this sort of subject, it's worth watching this video, because I go to other angelic encounters as well. I do discuss other angelic encounters in this particular film here. Get it on all the platforms here. When I attended the Outer Limits magazine conference in Hull, I had a strange experience that might possibly be an encounter with an angel. Yeah. I'm quite proud. It's 35 minutes. It's only 35 minutes long. I'm quite proud of it. Someone's talking about sleep paralysis. Your thoughts are awesome, someone says. Oh, that's great. Yeah. It's just an idea that I had. And I just wondered if it could be like an angelic encounter. It's just a thought. It might be an angelic encounter. I can't prove it. I intend to challenge the nurses. They consider my cannabis to be a threat to their life. Oh, well, you challenge them, yeah. Oh, you've read the book of Zero Fail. Cool. I've never read the book, but the series is what is so good. And what Willie says, angels depicted as humanoids with wings comes from the 16th century art, not scriptures. That's right, yes. And they're described in the Bible as that their physical descriptions are not mentioned in the Bible, but they are described as beings that can walk around. For example, they walk around the streets of Sodom and Gomorrah, and no one notices their strange wings and things like that. They also reported in one scene that they eat. Diego Rivera. Oh, Balloons want a link. Okay, one sec. All right, one sec, mate. There we go. There's your link. There you go. So check that out. Thanks very much. Hope you find it interesting. Have a look at Albrecht's Dürer print called Melancholia. It has an angel in it. Very esoteric image. Right. Okay. Melancholia. So I'll just try and find it. Painting. Oh, just Melancholia painting. Right. Oh yeah, look, this is there we are. There's an angel here, looking rather miserable. Don't know what that is. A dog, and there's this strange geometric shape, a little cherub there. I don't know what that means exactly, but there's a rainbow. There's a bell, hourglass, scales. I imagine there's something called melancholia wouldn't necessarily be particularly cheerful. Well, that's interesting. That's strange, isn't it? Yeah. In Zechariah, there are humanoid angels. Yeah. No problem, mate. Oh, the winged cherubim. Yeah, they are on the Ark of the Covenant. Of course, they're not cute on that. They're actually quite mean-looking things that guard the Ark of the Covenant. Those are seraphim, not angels, a different species. All right. Cherubim and seraphim. Hugo, I prefer the immediacy of cannabis. Sativex is oral via skin, so not immediate. So quite useless to me. Weed is my immediate relief. Right, indeed. Hugo, hello, Keith McLaren. How do you do? Welcome. You mentioned that you're a materialist. Are you still a materialist, by the way? Are you still, you die and that's it kind of thing? Because I was considering you for the NBA. That's an interesting picture, though, isn't it? That's a very interesting picture. Anyway, guys, I think I've run out of things to talk about because let's have a look. Simply because it's a sort of like discussion about the film and the book. And do any of you have any comments you want to make about the film and the book? Because if not, I might call it a night. But Hugo, I'm interested to see if Hugo is still a materialist like he used to be, because he used to be quite a staunch materialist. I was for a while. I was a Dawkinsian atheo skeptico materialist for a few years. I went through that phase. But Hugo, I think Hugo he's more firm in that. No reincarnation. All right. Well, I'm interested in the idea because, like, This is what happens in the book, and you don't get this in the film. But when Chris returns from hell, he can't be reunited with Annie because of her karma. Oh, how do you rate the films of CGI compared to today? Oh, it's much better today, isn't it? Sweeps! Howdy, Ben. Thumbs up. Did you get the Robin Williams film on this? Hey, sweeps! Right there, mate. There it is. It's right there. I've got the film, and I've got the book. I don't know if you've read the book or seen the film, but balloons. I'm sorry, the movie traumatized me. What dreams this traumatized you? It's quite scary in places and upsetting. I mean, but it's interesting because in the book, in the film, she finds a way just to go straight back to Summerland, but in the book she can't. Chris manages to escape hell, and he goes to materialist. Sorry, baffled. I honestly don't know what a materialist is. I have nothing but my cannabis. Oh, right. Maybe I'll ask you the question when you haven't been smoking cannabis. The problem is, it'd be difficult to catch you at one of those rare occasions, wouldn't it? A materialist is someone just who doesn't believe in any form of afterlife at all. Believes the brain function is the source of consciousness, and when that function ceases, your consciousness ceases forever. That's a materialist. I know you used to be that. I don't know if you still are. Nothing wrong with being that. I was a materialist for a number of years when I was like a teenager or late teens. Oh yeah, Stephen. You told me about this when someone. This is someone we both know died. I got a white spirit dove. Yeah, I mean, you did wonder if the angel I saw might have been her. I mean, it didn't look like her, Stephen. But then, who knows what people really look like? Because I mean, like in the film, people don't always look as who they appear to be. A materialist is someone who goes ape at winning the lottery. I think that's everyone. I think 69 Phuket. Yeah, Academy Award for the best visual effects. A materialist. I call them in my book Matt Junkies. Materialist junkies. Yeah, sweeps. It is, as I explained, it is a belief system. It's not, I mean, this ties in with my skeptic talk, which I did, there's several versions of that on my channel. But it is actually a positive belief system. It's not it's a theory. It is a positive theory. It's a hypothesis, a positive hypothesis about the way human function works. It's often seen as an absence of any belief, but it's not. It's actually a positive belief. Hugo says, I have no idea about materialism. I'm just well-traveled, 34 countries in my life. That's right, Hugo. I know you've been all over the place, haven't you? As you described, you did several jobs that took you around the world. But no, but you don't know now. Okay, that's okay. You used to be very positive that you believed in consciousness is not separate from the brain, caused by the brain, by brain function. Now, it's possible that's true, but I doubt it simply because of I mean, if you look into the kind of research done onto this, the great hope of neuroscience has not been realized. There's several really great documentaries and books about that. And it is, like I say, it's a positive hypothesis. Can't prove it's not true, but I doubt it. I doubt it. But Stephen, that must have been very nice, that, because it's just someone you were very fond of, I know, and you knew her much better than I did, and it must have been a lovely experience to have that white spirit dove. Willie says the only honest answer anyone can give is I don't know. When it comes to certainties, yes, Willie, yeah, you can't be certain on this matter. It's not possible from our perspective, I think, to know for certain. You can go by likelihoods. I mean, there's some things, there's outcomes I believe are more likely than others. But anyway, does anyone have any more comments about the book or the film? Because otherwise, I'm going to call it an evening, because I think I've covered everything. Really, I've covered everything. 69 Phuket. Travel makes you wiser. Nurses just go to Mallorca. No, they don't. They go to bloody Ibiza, don't they? Oh, Thailand, Philippines, never China. An accident left me crippled. My travelling days are over. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was in Ukraine, wasn't it? Sweep says, don't know, Ben. Anyone have an out-of-body experience? Oh, right. I haven't. Sweeps. Night balloons. Take it easy. Night. I haven't, Sweeps. No. But I know I've read Robert Monroe's books. He wrote 2 books that are very interesting about out-of-body experiences. Yeah. Oh, Ulrich is going live at 9 to 5 in the morning your time if you want to get drunk with us. I'm afraid I'll be at work, mate. But thanks anyway. Night, Hugo. Thank you very much. Keep talking. Well, keep talking. All right, yeah. I think Hugo has talked quite a bit, hasn't he? But yeah, I want to say a big thank you to you all, guys. You've all been great, and I can't think of anything else to say about the book and the film, except I think we've covered everything. If you guys can't think of anything, then I think sorry, you haven't let me down. I mean, an hour is quite a good discussion for this particular watch party. Hugo Sweets Fox many times with intense vibrations before takeoff. Oh, right, blimey. Hey, Sweeps. Yeah, that's so you've had these OBEs. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in OBEs. I mean, I've got these Time Life books about them. Robert Monroe, I've read both his books. They're quite extraordinary. But there's lots of other videos coming up. I'm actually going to launch a new watch and read party. Diego Vell. Oh, Zero Fail. Cloud Atlas. Fantastic film, that. What's your conclusion? I think they're both very good. They're both very good. The film and the book are both very good. Very well done indeed. Hit that like at the door. Good night. 69 Phuket, body technician. Can you talk about missing time and implants in a future show? Certainly, yes. I've actually made other videos about those, but I'm happy to bring them up. Willie says it would have been a better film in the 70s, more true to source materials. I don't know, maybe. No, David. The problem is the special effects weren't as good back then, and you need good special effects for this kind of adaptation. Yeah, Monroe's very good, Sweet Fox. Yeah, Robert Monroe, his work is incredible. Yes, but appreciate you all come along to this live stream and being involved in this live stream. Great watch read party. Night, Seth, Aaron Fletcher. Thanks for being here. So there's going to be another read. It's actually just a read party, not a watch party. But I've also got some things coming up. I'm taking a few trips in the next couple more weeks, and I'll be going away a few times, about 3 times next month. So there'll be lots of reportages coming. And I'll tell you more about that nearer the time. I'm speaking at Dorset Earth Mysteries as well in about 3 weeks' time. So there'll be a video of that. Do get to that if you can, actually. It's going to be very good. The details are on her Panmo Voice. But thank you very much, all of you. And good night.